and calm. They've all got an it. Tua is accurate. You know, that goes back to the Chris Rock joke. That's the basics in the NFL. That's like saying I love my kids. Okay, that's the give me, right? So after accuracy, where's the it? And I don't see it. And so I look at that and I think, what does the film say about Tua? Should they move off him? Should they keep him? What does it say?
Well, I'm not going to judge his entire career based on 7 or 8 games or whatever it was. But we have to understand what he is. He's a certain kind of quarterback. He's a timing rhythm player. He needs to hit his back foot. He needs the ball to come out. He has some movement, but he will not be a big-time second reaction player in the league. So now when you look at those traits, you have to decide what can he be. And it's going to lead to a fascinating discussion as we get to the draft, Colin, as to traits versus production. Obviously, to a high-level production at the best college program in America. But traits like Justin Herbert, like Josh Allen is now showing in his 3rd year, he does not have those kinds of traits. So are people going to start looking at traits, or will they still look at production? Tua is not at that level when it comes to traits.
Yeah, I mean, some of these throws, it's like you say, if he's not thrown off the back foot, it doesn't work. Like he has to throw off the back. He has to be set up and ready to throw.
Correct. He's not a late in the down pocket quarterback, meaning he can't go 2.5, 3.1 seconds in the pocket and sit there while the rush gets close. He doesn't have the arm for that. He's not set up for that. He needs to be a timing rhythm thrower, which, by the way, Chan Gailey understood, but it can't happen all the time. And then you need something else to do, and that's where he's not there. Whether he gets there, I'm not going to say he won't, but he's not there now.
All right, let's go to the games. Baltimore at Buffalo. A fascinating matchup with two dynamic quarterbacks. Let's start with this. How will Buffalo try to contain Lamar?
Well, let me tell you this. These two teams played last year, Week 14, and the Bills did a really, really good job against Lamar Jackson and that offense. Now, obviously, that offense has added a number of elements to it in the run game. This is a run game offense. But what the Bills did last year, which they have not done this year, is they played out of their base defense last year. This year, they play 90% of their defensive snaps out of nickel with Teron Johnson, the slot corner, essentially playing linebacker against base personnel. And he's very good at it, by the way. So the Ravens have added a lot of these counter gap scheme elements to their run game that are very, very effective. And, of course, you have the Lamar Jackson factor. I mean, the play we're looking at right now, Kevin Byard, a very good NFL safety, was in perfect position to make a play and couldn't make it.
Yeah.
So, really, it's all about stopping the run game and how you go about doing that, because the pass game really is almost secondary.
Josh Allen, how'd you think he played against the Colts? How do you think he's playing?
I think he's playing at a really high level. He's the most physically gifted quarterback in the league when you look at his arm, his size, his movement, and he's playing extremely well right now. He's gotten so much better in a number of areas, pace and touch on his throws, patience in the pocket. His ability to just stand there and deliver the football is absolutely remarkable. So he's playing at a really, really high level. He's going to face a ton of pressure in this game. The Ravens are a proactive pressure defense. They will not be scared of this at all. They are going to pressure Josh Allen. The Bills do not really have that functional a run game, and they don't even use it that much.
Yeah.
So Allen will be under pressure. So he will move in this game, but I do believe he's going to have to make some throws from the pocket. It can't all be just movement throws, as good as he is at that.
Wow. So it sounds like Josh Allen will be under duress. The line's under a field goal, and I can't wait. Now, Kansas City, Cleveland. It would seem to me, as a novice, the run game for Cleveland dictates their chances. They run well, they got a shot. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, it's very interesting you say that, because what do you hear all the time in games like this? You have to keep the quarterback off the field. So on average, there's 12 possessions for a team in an NFL game. So let's say they get 10 possessions instead of 12. So let's say they score 5 touchdowns on those 10 possessions, because Cleveland's defense is not that good, quite honestly, relative to Kansas City's offense. So if you're the Browns, is your goal to run the ball and keep Mahomes off the field, or is your goal to score points? And that might seem like a ridiculous thing to say, Colin, but you have to be careful, in my view, about getting into that. Well, you got to keep them off the field. They're still going to get 10 possessions. You know, the Colts tried that against the Bills this past week. They did a really good job of controlling time of possession, playing the way I'm sure they wanted to play, and they were losing 24-10 in the third quarter.
Right.
In the fourth quarter. You've got to score points.
Yeah.
So what is the best way to score points if you're the Browns? That's what you have to decide, not just say we're going to run the ball. Of course they're going to run the ball. That's who they are. But you've got to score points.
So, I mean, I guess Kansas City, is your guess they can just flip a switch? They haven't played particularly well.
No.
I mean, do you just think they'll just flip a switch?
Well, it's not a matter of flipping a switch. They've also had an extra week of practice. We know that they've got tremendous speed. We know that they have some really good play designs, and Andy Reid always adds something in the playoffs, particularly when he has a week off. So it's not a matter of flipping a switch. They've got high-quality talent at the receiver position, obviously including the tight end Kelsey, and they do a lot of things by design with that talent. So you're going to see a couple of wrinkles to what they do, and that's where they're really, really good.
Yeah. I can't wait for that, by the way. It's there's so much drama. If they come out and blow Cleveland out, that'll just change the way I think about the whole playoffs, because I haven't Kansas City for the last month. You know, I said that they remind me a little bit of the Warriors when they had Kevin Durant, Stephen Clay, that they were so dynamic. It is hard sometimes to create urgency because they have this ability to score 23 points in 6 minutes. And
you're exactly right.
Yeah, and I think
Mm-hmm.
All right.
They'd be down by 15, and then Curry would hit 5 threes in the space of a minute and a half, and then they're up by 7, and you go, how did that happen?
Right. Let's talk New Orleans and Tampa. You said last week, and I want to continue on this, that this is the best Brady's played this year. And the ball's coming out quicker, it looks like.
And he's throwing it with great velocity, good accuracy. These teams played the last time week 9, and that was a game in which the Saints defense dominated both with pass rush and with their man-to-man coverage. The Saints are a man-to-man defensive team. They play what we call two-man, 2 deep safeties, man-to-man across the board. Lattimore has won the Lattimore-Evans matchup predominantly. So they're going to have to win against man coverage because they're going to get it. And Brady's going to have to turn it loose because this is a good pass rush as well. So he can't stand there and wait. So Brady's going to have to make some tight window throws, precise ball placement throws. He's more than capable of that, as we know. But they're going to have to beat man coverage in this game.
So the Saints beat him badly both times. Is there anything they did in the first 2 times that it doesn't look like Tampa can stop? I mean, it's at some point they have given Tom troubles and they have scored with relative ease. Is it just a roster mismatch?
I don't know if it's a roster mismatch. Obviously Sean Payton is very good with design, and Breeze is another one of those timing rhythm throwers. At this point in his career, he has to hit his back foot and deliver the football. When he can do that, and he was able to do that against the Bucs, then he's very, very efficient. Now, what Todd Bowles will do is he will try to muddy the waters. He'll do a lot of disguise, late movement, post-snap movement. He'll try to slow down Drew Brees' process. And that's what you have to do. He's a great quarterback and obviously as smart as there is, but you still have to try to slow down his process. If you don't do that, then he'll just hit that back foot and the ball will come out.
And finally, Packers and Rams. The secondary is outstanding for Los Angeles. It's young. It's active. Yep. They take big risks. They can match up with Devontae Adams. Green Bay against the Rams defense. What do you suspect we'll see?
Well, keep in mind that the Rams, they're not a matchup defense in terms of putting, let's say, Ramsey on Devontae Adams. We'll see that for sure, but it won't happen on 60 snaps because what they do is they play a lot of zone. Now, there are matchup principles to their zone, but Ramsey is not a traveling corner. He doesn't move around with great receivers. He doesn't go into the slot very much recently. So you're going to see them play what I believe will be their normal coverage. They're as good a team in the league in zone concepts as far as carrying players, passing receivers along. They do that better than anybody in the league. Oh, certainly over the last month or so. So to me, there's no reason they'll change their approach. And of course, they've got a pass rush. So it'll be very interesting to me to see what Green Bay's approach is because Green Bay can run the ball very effectively as well.
Jared Goff probably plays. I saw practice footage yesterday. He's got a banged-up hand. It swells. I mean, he's not playing with a lot of confidence right now. I can see. I can just watch the game and doesn't feel confident.
No, I mean, he obviously missed some throws last week when he came in. Cam Akers has really become their foundation. In 4 of the last 5 games, he's had over 20 carries. They're going to have to run the ball to some degree. But Sean McVay is really good with play design, and he'll give Goff some opportunities. Keep one thing in mind with the Packers. They're another team. Jari Alexander's not a matchup corner either. He lines up on the left side. Kevin King lines up on the right side. So they're not a matchup team. So there'll be some opportunities, but this team is so good with their design, and that's going to be the play we show, and we can certainly go to it right now. This is from last week.